What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we are reacting to Film Theory, The Book of Bill. ARG reveals the future of Gravity Falls. Finally, we're going back into the Book of Bill. I have been eagerly waiting for this, because if we're going to get like a new series for Gravity Falls, I really want to know more about what we're going to have to deal with, especially when it comes to Bill. Because without a doubt, Bill's going to be coming back sooner or later. And that is going to be like a great thing. I really did love Gravity Falls when it was still up. Still do. I just really wish we have a bit more of it. And yeah, I'm just really eager about this one. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. And if you did, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button to be notified immediately when your video comes out. And if there's any videos you would like to recommend that I should react to, put it down in the comment section below, and I'll react to it as soon as possible. Now, again, the link to this video is going to be down in the description below, so be sure to give Film Theory some love and support for the video they made. Actually, I don't think I ever said that part about the description before everything else, but yeah. It's going to be down in the description, and be sure to, as I said, for real this time, give Film Theory some love and support for the video they made. Now, I really want to see what's going on now and hear the theories of what's going on, or come up with my own ideas of what's going to happen. Ooh, let's go.
The Book of Bill and its website ARG have told us exactly where the story of Gravity Falls is headed, and believe me, we are definitely getting more of this series. Gravity Falls will return, and today I'll tell you exactly how that's gonna happen and why it hasn't been announced yet. It's just a matter of time, friends. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, the show where the secret code is subscribe. Friends, it's been a great year for theorists like us, in no small part thanks to the return of one of the classic OG theorist favorites, the Disney animated series Gravity Falls. In case you don't know, Gravity Falls was all about the twins Dipper and Mabel Pines as they visit their grunkle Stan in the mysterious town of Gravity Falls, Oregon, full of cryptids, monsters, and mysteries. It's a great show, ended far too soon, but now, Disney and series creator Alex Hirsch have teamed up to release The Book of Bill, a best-selling book that acts as a memoir/soul-stealing contract for the show's main villain, Bill Cipher. In our last theory, we covered most of the Book of Bill's biggest secrets, the puzzles and ciphers and juicy lore, revealing that Bill has spent most of the last few years in an interdimensional therapy prison. But now, he's potentially flown the coop, and that's only the beginning. Hidden within the book was a link to a website called thisisnotawebsite.com, a hub for a massive ARG that's still ongoing. Yeah, it's still in the process of being solved, and I want to give a massive shout out to the theorists over at the Gravity Falls subreddit and Discord server who put a bunch of their blood, sweat, time, and tears into breaking all of this down. That community has done incredible work, and the master doc they put together compiling all of the puzzle solutions that they found has been invaluable for every theorist working on figuring this ARG out, myself included. So again, big props to them, and go join that community if you want to hop in yourself and be one of the first people to know when a new puzzle gets solved. But today, I wanted to take our own crack at breaking down this website, creating a digestible way to get everyone on the same page about what's going on. And I think doing so will show us that Disney has big plans for the Gravity Falls franchise. The Book of Bill and this ARG were an experiment, and it's been an unmitigated success. And by the end of this theory, I think I'm going to convince you that there's a whole lot more in store for Bill Cipher and the Pines family. Get out your code breakers, theorists. We're going deep on this one. Okay, so what exactly is thisisnotawebsite.com? Well, we talked about it very briefly in our previous theory, but hidden within the Book of Bill was this URL that was locked and prompted users to put in a password to enter. The solution for that password was in another puzzle in the Book of Bill, a magic eye puzzle that when looked at a very sheer angle read, need a password? Fine, I'll talk. It's the name of the eyeball doc. Elsewhere in the Book of Bill, there were random pages from a novel called The Great Gatsby, which talked about an eyeball doctor named T.J. Eckelberg. So, put that name into the website and bam, the website unlocked and a whole new part of the Book of Bill ARG began. Gotta love the creative use of content that's recently fallen into the public domain. Bill's a thrifty one. When the website was first discovered in this
Why was Yeah, okay, they're
Password
going to.
entered, there was just a countdown clock, and when that hit 0, nothing happened. We were just hit with a series of technical difficulty pages involving Seuss trying to get things working. If you clicked on Seuss, he'd even change up what he was saying, offering links to a full copy of The Great Gatsby and some Gravity Falls themed lo-fi. A lot of people thought that this was part of the ARG, and it might have been. However, Alex Hirsch quickly took to Twitter explaining that sometimes technical difficulties are just technical difficulties. If I were to guess, I don't think Alex, Disney, or anyone else expected the sheer amount of interest in this ARG, and things just weren't ready, or the website went down from the sheer amount of traffic that they were seeing. But eventually, those technical difficulties were ironed out, and the website relaunched, this time featuring a desk within the Mystery Shack complete with haunting music, ambient rain, and a glitchy computer just begging to be toyed with. A ton of the things on this desk are actually interactable. For example, if you click on the Book of Bill here with the dagger in it, it'll open up the book and give us a note for Dipper written by Uncle Ford, telling us that he was mining the book for secrets before chucking it into a bottomless pit. That must have been the portal that let it end up in our reality, where Alex...
Okay, now that's... wow. Okay, so honestly, the website was not to, like, really be this, like, big deal at the time, and no one really expected it to get, like, this big of attention or anything like that. And now it's up and running, and it, like, has, like, everyone being really into it even more with, no, wait, no. Uh, it was, like, this thing that they expected wasn't going to get a lot of attention. They were wrong, and everything's now fixed to, like, show what's really going on here. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Hirsch got his hands on it and put Bill on the path to the bestsellers list. I guess that this also means that since the book is here in this website, in the Mystery Shack, I suppose that this means that this canonically takes place before we get our copies of the book? Hopefully Time Baby isn't going to hunt us down for breaking the timeline. Before we move on, there are a few other treats hidden in this scene too. Like, for instance, if you click on the skull's golden tooth, you're given one Get Out of Death Free coupon only for use in participating realities. And clicking on the bottle with the eyeball in it will give you a snapshot of the Finterdimensional portal. Dang, Bill was right. That was very difficult to say out loud. Regardless, this was another portal constructed by dolphins, but unfortunately for Bill, it didn't work out. Porpoises don't got no opposable thumbs. And finally, clicking the McGucket logo on the computer gives us a note left behind by Old Man McGucket. In case you need a refresher, this guy was a surprisingly big player in Gravity Falls. He was a hillbilly who was once a genius, but he voluntarily scrambled his brain after witnessing Bill's antics in the Nightmare Realm firsthand. And now, it looks like his old computer is the key to solving this ARG. See, you can actually type words into this computer, and if it matches something in the computer's database, you're given a clue or an Easter egg.
How did I get inside this computer? How do I get out of here? Bill!
Now, there's a lot of stuff you can type in here, but we're not going to be doing a comprehensive breakdown. If you're looking for that, there are tons of great videos here on YouTube from creators like Hannah Hyperfixates that do a great job of breaking it all down. So, for us here...
That's honestly creepy. Like, very creepy. Like, what the heck kind of creepy. What?
Here today, we're just going to be focusing on a few key codes, and some that I just kind of thought were funny. Like, I'm not above entering Mabel a 11 million times and Mabelizing the whole lab. Just makes it feel more like home, you know? Plus, this is where you get Matt's cameo on the website, therefore making all of us theorists here canon in Gravity Falls.
Hello, Internet! This time, you're on your own. Good luck.
Just still blows my mind. So where do we even start here? Well, using McGucket's note as a jumping off point, there are a couple of passcodes we can try that are hidden in here. The one of most consequence is Goodnight Sally, and it starts us down a ridiculous rabbit hole. This code pulls up an image of a yellow graphic tee with Bill dancing while the church burns down in the background. Fun, but there's more hidden in this image than first meets the eye. If you zoom in on Bill's left shoe, the one that's outstretched, you may notice a series of small dots and dashes running along the edge of the shoe sole. This is, of course, Morse code, and it spells out Diona Rap. That's paranoid backwards. Then, if you type in Diona Rap to the computer, we get a conspiracy board that would make even Pepe Sylvie...
Holy... What the heck? Beware the imposter. Oh wait, I know that one. That's like the Phantom version of Bill that people have been making. Like, if Bill was an actual human, what would he look like? And bam. And beware the imposter, huh? That's pretty ominous. Makes you wonder if this imposter is as strong or stronger than Bill. Oh boy, that would be really, really creepy if that was the case. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. Some of the other images seem pretty familiar. Like this one right here. I can't remember on the top of my head who that is. But they seem really important. Just wish I knew who they were on the top of my head.
Proud. There's a lot to take in here. Hints that Bill was involved with the Kennedy assassination, had links to inventor Nikola Tesla and Russian
oh my gosh. And that is what he looks like? If you haven't noticed any about it on the channel, I did do FGO stuff, trying to fix that bit, like audio and all that. Like numerous stuff happened, and yeah, you know what? I won't go into more detail about it. Not the right time. Anyway, jeez, he was a part of so much stuff in the Gravity Falls universe.
Mystic Rasputin was literally the iceberg that sank the Titanic, and is the reason that the Bermuda Triangle is so funky. Also, you just gotta love Bill's apparent belief that Doritos are a, quote, crude attempt at mockery. That one earned a legit guffaw from me. I love this page, but the reason we're talking about it today is that there's actually a clever puzzle hidden here. All throughout the conspiracy board, you'll notice some strange groupings of letters. An OC here, and EHT there. Well, if you find them all and put them all together, it makes the phrase Stad et Tenak. That's connect the dots backwards. Now, I'll admit I spent an embarrassingly long amount of time trying to connect the dots here on the page to actually make something work before I realized it's just another code. Type that backwards phrase into the website, and once again, you're given a treasure trove of new information. Are you sensing a pattern here? This gives us a chapter of a fictional book called Lesser Known American Cults, and tells us about ciphertologists, described as the first cult in history that was right. By possessing the body of snake oil salesman Silas Birchtree, Bill was able to build himself a following as he turned the city of Orchard Lake, Kansas into Billville. Here, his followers started to build him a portal before the plan was foiled by a rebel named Emmeline Butternubbins. Yes, Butternubbins. I continue to be in awe of Hirsch's ability to name things. Regardless, this chapter ends with a message hidden in Cypher's special alphabet. Translated, it reads, "You can't kill an idea." And typing that into the computer gives us a pamphlet for ciphertologists. Now, this might just seem like the end of this particular rabbit hole, but just put a pin in that. We'll be back shortly. And hey, what's this? If we type in Got Legends, we get the sponsor for today's episode, Game of Thrones.
Nope. Not gonna take someone else's thing. Right there. You want to see it yourself? Then, you're gonna have to see the original video. And you're getting to, like, some sneak previews of it right here. So, yeah. Can't say you, get nothing from this, I guess. So, yes. Now, onto this.
Thrones Legends for sponsoring this video, and let's hop back into the theory. Another rabbit hole we can dive down involves us just typing in the word riddle. This brings up a screen that just asks us, would you like to play a game? Suddenly we are in Saw. Do you want to play a game? Of course, you know us, we are absolutely up for this. If you type in yes to answer it, you're again asked a question. This time, what's McGucket's favorite soda? This answer is actually found back in the Book of Bill, on the page depicting the nightmare that is McGucket's mind. In this tornado of awfulness, we can see a can of soda labeled Mountain Don't. I personally prefer Voltage or Baja Blast myself, but you know, personal preference. Type in Mountain Don't, and we're once again given another riddle. Oh boy. Yeah, all in all, there are about another dozen of these riddles, but eventually we're asked the question, Bill Cipher's lawyer? That might seem nonsensical, but this is actually where that pamphlet comes in. If you...
Ooh, call back. Now that's interesting. Now I'm curious about one thing. Who in their right mind would be, like, sane enough to be Bill's lawyer?
Scour that thing, you'll see that Bill is represented by the law firm Caesar, Atbash, and Visionaire. All of those happen to be the names of 3 very popular code ciphers, so that's a fun Easter egg. Type those in, and you're asked who defeated Silas Birchtree. If you don't remember, that was the guy Bill took over to lead the ciphertologists, and he was beaten by the hilariously named Emmeline Butternubbins. Type that last name in, and we're finally told we have earned a treat. Follow these instructions, and it'll actually download a zip file onto your computer called Bill's Files Do Not Open. You have to know every cybersecurity alarm in my head is going off right now, but come on, we gotta open this. Don't screw us, Disney. Thankfully, it's just a bunch of wallpapers, a reward for figuring out this ridiculously complex puzzle. And nothing else, right? Well, at this point, we'll see. It feels like everything in this website is part of a greater puzzle, from fun wallpapers to fake law firms on pamphlets. Now, speaking of fake law firms, we can actually summon Bill's very own lawyer and sign away our soul to him, and this starts us down another rabbit hole. Signing over our soul here will turn the flame of this candle blue, signaling that we're now part of Bill. But that's not the only change it makes. Now, we can interact with the knob on this computer, and doing so treats us to some unsettling audio coming out of the static. This is not our first rodeo, theorists. This is clearly some backwards audio, and it says...
That just sounds like Weirdmageddon. Not gonna lie, that honestly just sounds like Weirdmageddon or anything Bill does that involves taking over a world or messing with the world or anything like that, to be honest. Casual Monday or Tuesday or whatever. That's honestly what it sounds like.
Someone is begging for help. Someone that Bill killed. Now, right away, this is cool because in the Book of Bill, Bill mentions that he can hear something going on in TV static. So now that we've signed our soul away to him, we can hear it too. We can also learn from another code here on the website that one of Bill's phobias is TV static, so he doesn't love how creepy this is. All in all, this is a neat touch and great character building for Bill, but it's also a huge deal for the story of Gravity Falls moving forward. See, in our last theory, we pointed out a section of the Book of Bill where clearly one of the souls that Bill had claimed was somehow using his power to influence the book, writing out pleas for help. Something similar is happening here, just on the website. Someone that Bill has killed is reaching out through this static after we've made our deal with Bill. But who? Well, we actually see them in multiple places throughout this book and this ARG. It's been one of the best secrets hidden in plain sight. See, again in that last theory, we pointed out that it was clear that not all of the writing in the book was done by Bill himself. Obviously, some of the other pages were done by other characters, like Ford, but even some of the secret codes were from other characters, and we figured that was the case because they were talking about Bill. We wondered if it was Jessie the Oracle, the character we identified as Bill's ex, and while that may partially be the case, she's clearly not the only one writing in this book. Like we said, obviously, pages from Journal 3 were written by Ford, and he also has some of his own codes hidden throughout the book, and a Viking named Olaf seems to be behind the writing in runes as well. But one of the strangest codes was the color block cipher, first deciphered by Reddit user JimBag777.
Oh wow. I did not know that there's a color cipher. How many ciphers are there? Now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know every cipher, and I'm actually mortifiedly actually intrigued to know how many ciphers in the world are there. But yeah, that looks like some mumbo jumbo to me.
7. Yeah, these
Credit
things
to
were
you,
a deep
man.
cut, but now we can figure out who wrote these. Huge shoutouts to friend of the channel, Rim Games, for being the first person I saw put this together in his series all about the Book of Bill. In his video solving much of thisisnotawebsite.com, he was able to figure out that the color block codes were coming from very specific people. Bill's family, and the rest of his race, the people of Euclidia. Yeah, the people that Bill admitted to killing in the book. The color block code is just their language.
Oh.
But how do we know this? Well, this is because of a few things. Firstly, one of the color code blocks refers to Bill as Little Billy and talks about his childhood. This was the same affectionate name that Bill's mom used for him, which we see in another color block code. Another color block code translates to some sort of eulogy for Euclidia, something that sounds like it would have been written by a Euclidean, while yet another points us to a Euclidean government agency. And just the cherry on top, when lightning flashes in the Mystery Shack, you can see the Latin phrase Vallis Cineris, or Valley of Ashes, written on the back wall. Typing that into the computer gives us a video of little baby Bill being held by his parents, who are obscured and consumed by TV static. And that voice we talked about earlier, it comes back.
Why did you do it?
This confirms that the voice we heard in the static were from the Euclideans, maybe even Bill's parents, thus why Bill is so terrified of static. Again, huge props to Remy for putting all of that together. Now, you might just think that this is some fun Easter egg, some backstory for Bill, but it's way more than that. This is the key to the future plot points of this series. The people Bill has killed are still in his head, and now with the knowledge that his parents and the other Euclideans are also passing messages along, that's huge. They're also still in his head, and they're the key to beating Bill. Yeah, you heard that right, and there's a ton of proof for this on the website. Like, if you type in Grunkle Stan into the computer multiple times, eventually it'll lead to a pop-up where you can ask Bill how Stan beat him. Clicking through the prompt repeatedly will twist the knife into Bill's ego, and eventually he'll break, revealing a series of increasingly staticky messages. They read, "Sometimes when I close my eye, I can still see," and then 4 messages in the various ciphers from the book. When translated, they read, "Through the eyes of everyone I've ever. Sometimes when I close my eye, I can still see through the eyes of everyone I've ever killed." That's what I bet the message ends as. Then, Bill screams. He can't turn it off. That is his weakness. Plus, I've seen a lot of great evidence pointed out by the community that the major human historical figures that Bill talks about in the Book of Bill are also stuck in his head, and they're using Bill's powers against him, trying to warn other characters about Bill's future plans. And with our belief that Bill has once again escaped through the bird that landed on this statue, that is a pretty massive dangling plot thread to leave hanging and have a solution for in the text if they're never going to address it, which is precisely why they are going to address it. See, I believe that they're going to bring back Gravity Falls in a big way, all thanks to this little ARG and your excitement for it, and there's a ton of evidence to prove this. First off, if you type Season 3 into the computer, it spits back out Season 2. Type that in and it gives you Season 1. But if you type that in, well, then it gives you Season -1, Anti-Gravity Falls. This is an absolute curveball, and it could mean a lot of things. Maybe this is a spin-off. Maybe it's some sort of
Anti-Gravity Falls? That... Anti-Gravity Falls? Anti-Gravity Falls. I might be thinking of something else, but I don't know. That just seems weird. Resonating for some reason. I might be thinking of that fan-made thing involving where the Pine Twins like are evil and Pacifica and Gideon are like good people. At least that's what I think. I don't know. That's just... it's giving me that kind of feeling. And I don't know why.
new movie or video game or comic or something. But personally, I think it's pointing towards some sort of prequel series involving Stan or Ford. That's why it's season -1. Alex has gone on record saying that he'd love to do more stories with Stan and Ford, and if he does that story, it needs to be its own book or series.
If I ever wanted to do something with this show more in a animated context, I'm keeping certain material for that. If I'm going to do some adventures with Stan and Ford, either they need their own book or their own miniseries.
But that's just one possibility. It's one I definitely think they're going to be exploring, but it's not the only one. They could also do some sort of sequel series or movie involving all the souls trapped in Bill's head, like we worked out here today. My friend Ryder from Foot of a Ferret actually pitched that out in one of his own recent videos, and it does sound great. And really, I think a continuation of this show just makes sense. This is the same company that made X-Men 97 after all, and with other massive fan
Oh yeah, X-Men 97. It's a good one. Good one. Brought back the nostalgic feeling that I felt involving the X-Men. Yeah, just can't help but remember the good old days. I don't know if that makes me sound old or whatever, but just can't help thinking about it.
Favorites from the mid-2010s like Regular Show and Adventure Time getting a ton of continuations and spin-offs? It just fits perfectly. So why? Why haven't they just announced it yet? Why hasn't there been any movement on this despite the massive fan interest in this series and some sort of revival? It's simple, friends. Alex Hirsch legally can't work on it right now. See, back in 2018, Alex signed an agreement with Netflix to exclusively develop shows and movies for the streamer. And we know for a fact that he's still under this contract. In April of 2024, Alex did an interview on the channel Hannah Hyperfixates where he said,
I could probably talk Disney into a miniseries if I was out of my Netflix deal and I really wanted to.
if he could get out of his deal. He's still under contract to produce shows and movies for Netflix. Regardless, this quote was
Okay, that makes sense. But honestly, I don't know. That makes it like, I don't know. Seems like, shouldn't it like be only for like so long though? Because I can't help but think of that. The whole thing involving the subject should only last for a certain amount of time, right? Otherwise, that'd be breaking the contract or whatever. He's only supposed to do it for a certain number of years, like maybe 3, maybe 4 years. I mean, he can't do Netflix forever. Otherwise, I don't know. That'd be a bit like contract breaking. I mean, contracts only last for so long. Kind of the same with the whole copyright situation. I mean, Steamboat Willie can be used by the people now, so just saying. A contract can't last forever. I mean, it's going to take a majority of time to even be completed, but yeah, it can't last forever, right? At least that's what I think.
From before the Book of Bill released and was a smashing success, and you best believe that there's some real interest from everyone involved now in making this happen. Just recently at New York Comic Con, Alex said that Disney were the ones that reached out asking him for another Gravity Falls story.
Disney reached out and asked if I had another Gravity Falls book kicking around in my brain.
And now, everyone involved realizes that there's a real hunger for more Gravity Falls content, all because of your excitement. You, me, we all made that happen. The only domino left to fall is getting Alex out of his Netflix deal, and I bet there are lawyers working their butts off to make that one happen. Maybe they need to get Bill's lawyers on this one. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut. Next time on Film Theory, is Uncle Iroh a war criminal?
I mean, technically he would be. I mean, before like his brother became the Fire Lord and all that, he still did whatever was commanded of him and all that. And then he left with his nephew to who was on exile, and even though technically they had like some connection to the Fire Nation, they were technically like not allowed because to follow him, because technically it was just only his exile. I mean, unless there's like a complete mental thing that Iroh could have done to not be labeled a war criminal, but then he was arrested, and that technically made him a war criminal. And wow, there's a contradicting viewpoint here. There's a lot of points to prove that he is and isn't a war criminal. That's really something to really think about. Anyway, back to the main point, I guess. So we might get a season 2 of not season 2, season 3 of Gravity Falls, or like Gravity Falls 2, or something like that. At the very least, very least, we might get that. So, really something to look forward to, all things considering. And yeah, so with this all said, I hope you all enjoy. Honestly, I don't really know what else to really say about this. I mean, it's all pretty made clear. We're not going to get any more future stuff involving Gravity Falls until the contract with Netflix and Alex Hirsch is like completed, so nothing can be done there on that scale. And from the looks of it, Bill is haunted by the people he has killed, made deals with, and so on and so forth. And it is made pretty darn clear. And his phobia of television static is also further explained. So yeah, honestly, I think it's pretty wrapped up and clear. Now, the only question is if it's going to be a sequel of the end, or is this going to be like a prequel? Gotta really think about it that way, because that leads to some interesting thoughts when it comes down to it, and I'm really interested in knowing the answer to that. But anyway, hope you all enjoy, as I said. And if you did, hit the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button to be notified when new videos like this come out. And yeah, with all this said, hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.